9 developers make a video game, but no communication between them is allowed. Each dev gets a handful of hours to work on the project before passing it on to the next creator, who can tweak, twist, and customize the project into whatever he likes. We've made 10 episodes in this series, but this is the largest collaboration yet, and we were absolutely shocked by the end result. You're about to witness some truly unique, wild, creative ideas come to life. With that said, introducing developer number 1.
Hi everybody, I'm Lemon, and I'm the developer of Patch Quest.
Oh yeah.
And I figured I'd go with the bullet heaven genre. First thing I'm gonna do is make some sprites. And now we just gotta make the player shoot the bullet, which is simple enough. 3 different types of power up, which meant I needed 3 different sprites, and set up the basic collision code for them, and also a particle effect for when they are collected. The 3 different effects are that you can get faster rate of fire, faster movement, and also more bullets. And these are all designed to stack. And now we just need a few different enemy types. I made these yellow ones, which are meant to chase you around really fast, these red ones, which shoot shotgun attacks at you, and these pink ones, which are meant to be slower and bigger, but they can also split into other smaller pink ones when you destroy them. As a little touch here, I made it possible to shoot down the enemy bullets. When one of your shots touches one of theirs, they both get cancelled. Putting it all together, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. You can check out Patch Quest on Steam or the Patch Quest YouTube channel as well.
Now, before we continue with the next developer, here's a quick word about our sponsor, Milanote. This is an incredible project management tool that enabled us to easily organize this new edition of the Pass the Game Challenge. Simple and effortless to use, you can create to-do lists, take notes, place arrows, add comments, and so much more to bring your project visions to life. There are lots of pre-made templates to get you started. For example, the game design mood board or brainstorming. If you have a team, you can share your ideas and inspirations. And having a clean spot to keep track of which dev had completed which task was a real game changer. Sign up for free using the link in the description.
Hi, Santiago here. I work part-time for the Unity Asset Store developer Upsiv, as well as for the game studio Zaum that developed Disco Elysium. I'm currently working on a new Steam game called Potion Blast, a couch multiplayer versus game where you mix potions to create spells that you use to blast your opponents. I decided I wanted a penguin dancing under a disco ball. So I made a special power bar that fills up when you defeat some enemies, and when you press the spacebar, it changes from the top-down 2D view to a 3D front view using timeline. So at that point, I'm thinking of making something similar to the game One Finger Death Punch, a game where enemies come from both sides and you need to click at the right time to defeat them. And I proceed to waste 1 hour scrolling through Mixamo to select some animations. Not a good idea when you're time limited. So the plan is, I take all the enemies in the top-down view, take the distance they are from the player, and recreate them as enemy notes in the 3D dancing view. When you hit the note linked to that enemy, they die. And I end up with this mess. You can barely tell that the penguin is dancing. And I apologize to whoever comes next.
Hey everybody, my name is Julian from Flow Studio, the creators of Lens Island, and I'm going to be a bit sneaky. I'm actually going to get the whole dev team here to work on this game with me. So let's jump on a call with the team and see what they say. So, what do you think?
Hell yeah, I'm in.
Let's see what this game is like. Okay, I'm a dot. I go special now. Oh! Oh my god. What is happening? This is really clearly made by like 2 separate developers. And then just like smash them together.
The team really liked the idea of having a mini game tied to a power-up. So we thought about making a carousel where you can spin it, select a random mini game, and then get a power-up linked to that game. So then the team split up and started work on their own mini games. I did a full art pass over the whole game, made a main menu, and just overall glued everything together. Max made a whole Guitar Hero mini game completely from scratch. Ivan made an FPS Doom-like mini game completely from scratch. Justin was working on polishing the Penguin game and improving that. And Martin was working on the main FPS game and overall bringing the whole game together as well. And then onto my favorite part of this project, Lars actually did a full audio pass and custom soundtracks for all the mini games.
First edition of the Newt Destroyer menu music.
What is this?
I'm finding like Red and the other devs who work on this game.
End of the tutorials, little picture.
We set up like a really basic framework of a first-person shooter game. We set up a basic framework of like a Guitar Hero game, and then we kept the Penguin game, but we just like changed it slightly just to improve it like a little bit. Justin, do the honors.
Oh no, you got a wall. Penguin, yeah.
Alright, 6 hours are done. That was pretty difficult to cram that all in. Good luck to the other developers. This is a really interesting project.
Now, we want more people to experience the joy of creating games. That's why we've made a free training that will teach you how to create your very first 2D game using Unity. If ever you've wanted to take part in this sort of challenge or sell your own games on Steam, here's a great first step you can take right now. Check it out with the link in the description.
Newt Destroyer. Breakdance your way to victory. Other devs better make more minigames, so help me God. I'm gonna leave the minigames and I'm gonna polish like crazy. Hey everybody, my name is Steven. We just finished our first Steam game, Atrio. Let's get into it. So my goal is to take this art style and translate it over to the rest of the game. Now, I've never done pixel art before, so I figured by changing this abomination of a special bar, I had nowhere to go but up. And after some playing around, I got the special bar updated, and I cleaned up the fonts at the top with the subtle gradient. So I found this amazing GIF online. They do this little like anime cutscene where the character's portrait like flashes across the screen. I know this is probably not the best use of time, and I could be actually working on gameplay, but I kind of want to add that, but with Newt. Yeah, let's do it. I am stealing this. So I started yoinking some other pieces from that amazing GIF and added a profile for Newt. Here's a comparison of before and after. Thievery at its finest. Insert Newt. Okay, now it's time to move on to the big stage, the banner. I'm feeling warmed up, so I get to painting and put together this profile. Add a couple of extra details, hook it into Unity, and this is where the juice really comes in. A little bit of epilepsy for you. Scale him, go like 3. Haha! Part of the code wasn't working and was pretty broken, so I spent another hour fixing that instead of working on the penguin stuff. I'm stuck! But I got it working and moved on to the bullets. So I found this guy who makes some really dope art. I'm gonna open this bullet. Yeah, I kind of like this bullet better. Yeah, it's a little bit better, right? So the other thing I want to do is these rewards. I think this works a little bit nicer. 1 hour left. I think the Newt can be better. Bolder font, fade in fast, yellow, and red. Okay, I think I got it. Check it out. Oh, and even got the sound effects, baby. 30 minutes left. I want to do a death animation. Pause and shake, or at least slow down and shake when you die. Nice. I got 10 minutes left. I have 2 animations. Here's the first one. Oh, that's juicy. That is clean. This is it. Whatever happens, happens. So, you know what? Not bad. I like that. Hey, if you liked what you saw, come check us out on our YouTube channel over here. And a link up here, and a link down there, and a link over here. KBs.
Alright, so first I took some time to play through the game and figure out what was happening. And well, there is a lot happening and it's really fun. I spent a while looking for things to add and eventually found this rather threatening message in the menu telling future devs to make more minigames, and so I started work on a whack-a-mole minigame. I made this model for the board thing that you hit moles on, which took way too long because I'm not very good at that, and then quickly tried to make a mole model as well, which is of questionable quality. I added animations for the moles, making them pop up and down randomly, a timer, and also added a bunch more moles around the board which move up and down using sine waves. What I found extremely difficult though was incorporating this into the game with the rest of the minigames and with the Newt system. I spent a very long time doing this, but eventually it worked. Along with this, I also made a new cartridge sprite in the minigame selector and a new tutorial page. Now that I had this minigame complete, which took pretty much the majority of the time, I had to utilize the little time I had left to make a bunch of small changes and improvements. These included adding a death screen, which lets you play again or go to the menu, fixing these rounding and overlap issues with the score text, and adding an actual crosshair with its own sprite. So yeah, that was my time working on the game done. I didn't really get to add as much as I'd hoped, but at least I got to add my own finished minigame, I guess.
Yo, I'm DualWielded, I make the games, I make the videos. Let's see what's up with this project though. I set a timer, took a deep breath, and opened Unity. I really like the whole concept of the ultra newt. However, since all your newt skills also fill up the newt bar, you could just spam it and completely ignore, well, the actual main game. It's less fun to play this way, but it's more optimal. Players tend to prefer optimal over fun. Yeah, point proven. So I made sure to have newt kills not fill the newt bar, and since it's such an ultra attack, it should take longer in general to achieve it. Now, of course, I could just focus on adding some more power-ups, some more enemies, polishing the minigames, maybe add a new one. No, I had my own little idea that I just had to make. You guys know Metal Gear Solid? It had most of its narrative told through these conversations on the codec.
Nice shot. Looks like our little problem with him is over.
Our little problem with him is what? Over. So, as a bit of an intro cutscene / dialogue moment, I made the interior of the ship and a monitor that will display a call, using the colors and elements of the existing HUD to keep continuity. Now, all I have to do is record a bunch of lines where I explain to Pingu what he has to do and how, yeah, you shoot them to really value it. Oh, okay, you need to stop interrupting me like that. Seriously, that's not cool. But I don't want to insert myself into the game like that. It needs to be an actual character. So I went to this person does not exist to generate an appropriate face for the second character, and I drew over the person and made a talking animation, made a speech box, and here we go. Narrative.
Pingu! Finally, I managed to find the right frequency. What do you think you're doing? Huh? You're saying you found their weak spot?
If it's your second time playing the game, or you're just not interested in a thing I just spent 4 of my 6 hours on, you can skip the entire conversation by just hanging up.
Hanging up? I'm just trying to help.
Now that's cool and all, but the gameplay of the asteroids part of the game is very basic as of now. I felt like it really needed a new ability for the player to use. So let's say it together. What this game needs is a boost. It's a boost. It needs a boost. The player can use their boost once per wave, using it in a gnarly situation to get out of it, but also being able to use it as an offensive move. Time slows down, the player speeds up, movement becomes very snappy, and the player is invincible. At this point, I didn't have a lot of time left, so I could only implement one thing that was on my list still. See, there's still the problem of the ultra newts being a little too random. I already explained what happens in the intro.
You remember your training, right? The better you played a fun little mini game on your retro gaming console on deck, the more of those monsters you can destroy with your rage.
But I figured some extra visualization wouldn't only explain what's happening, but also makes the game in its entirety more cohesive. It connects 1 and 2 together, which is very necessary in my opinion. So I just made a quick animation that would tie the zoom into the spaceship and the minigame starting together. With that, that's it for my additions to this game. You can check out my YouTube channel, that will be linked in the description. Over there I do what you just saw me do, but the videos are longer and I work on different games. That's basically it, check it out. Let's see what the next dev has got for us.
Hey, I'm Kyle Banks. I'm developing a 3D adventure game called Feral North, but today is all about the Pass the Game challenge, so I'm going to try focusing on making the base game a little bit more interesting. The main issue I see is with the power-ups. I really don't care which ones I get. These games work best when you're really hoping for a certain power-up or two, so I'm going to try creating some different strategies based on a couple of them. To start, most people will probably go for more firepower, so I want the player to feel really powerful when they start experimenting with the others. I think the dash ability is a good candidate to start with. I changed it so everything moves slow-mo, but the player and their bullets move in real time. I added a new power-up that increases your dash duration, but I suck at pixel art, so yoink. I also tweaked the base movement so you move a bit quicker overall, but have some acceleration and deceleration time to really give that sense of being in space. Tidying up some of the code and effects, and I think we have a viable dash build now. You end up feeling really powerful yet fragile, so it's a nice high damage strategy. I want the second build to be the opposite, something more tanky, so we're going to touch up the shield. I couldn't actually tell if the shield is working, so I made it turn red as it loses charge. I also removed the recharge so it's single use per round, same as the dash ability. This way you need to be conscious of how you're using your abilities and still need to use the minigames when things get really intense. Speaking of, the minigame was charging way too fast, to the point where I just spammed it. So I drastically increased the cost, so you really need to save it for when you're in a pickle. I played for a while, fixed some bugs, and it feels better with these two strategies, but we're still missing something. The game's too predictable, there's no variety in the rounds. I decided to add some asteroids or meteors or comets or whatever they are. They're here to wreck your day because they're indestructible and destroy anything in their path, so they can be helpful or harmful depending on your luck. I added a warning indicator to show where they're coming, but I ended up removing it because I actually really like how the fear of asteroids pushes you to the center of the screen rather than playing along the edges. It just adds some much needed intensity and chaos. This asteroid sprite was already in the project, so big thanks to the dev who added that. The shield and dash strategies get even more benefit as a solid defense against the asteroids, and that's a nice bonus. I think the asteroids might be a bit too OP right now, but hey, it's my turn at the game and I like it. So on to the next dev to decide.
Hey everyone, I'm Saturn from the Indie Accord, a small game dev channel working on Monster Path, a monster collecting RPG. When I got the game, I was blown away at how polished everything was. I also realized that I'm definitely out of touch with the kids or something, and I have no idea what Newt is. Anyway, after playing the game, I realized that some of these gun power-ups were a little OP, and the game's difficulty curve actually got easier the further you got in. It's okay to get really powerful, but I didn't want it to be easy to ascend to godhood like that. The first thing I did was I changed the bullets so that there was different types of guns. I took some inspiration from Super Crate Box and made it so that every time a certain event happened, your gun would change. We already had this Newt bar here, so I took that and I made it so that when it's fully charged, it automatically puts you into a minigame, and then after the minigame, you get a random weapon. I made just the regular one, a shotgun, and then like a sniper one. By making the guns randomized after every minigame, it felt like something that was more part of the real game loop and not just tacked on top. This also had the bonus benefit of making the power-ups more useful depending on which gun you have, so there's not a useless power-up anymore. For example, the bullet speed on the shotgun is super important, but on the sniper it's not as important. Another thing that I realized is that the ship and the enemy pixel density didn't really match, but I didn't want to destroy the soul of the previous dev's art, so I took that art and put it on a higher res image of like a spaceship, so it still has the old art, but the pixel density matches now. It also looked kind of like the aliens fused with the spaceship and we're now controlling them. Since the game was still a little too easy, I decided to also implement a boss. At this point I had like 2 hours left, but I decided to try anyway. I also did some Newt research and I made this. The boss ended up looking like this, which I really liked from a mechanics point of view, but obviously the art was not finalized, so hopefully the next person can improve on it.
Hello, I go by AiKodex on the Unity Asset Store. Being the last developer, I was astonished after seeing an amazing top-down space shooter ready to sell like hotcakes on Steam. It felt as if the game was already pretty much complete, except Bingo sometimes hallucinated in the form of minigames. It only makes sense. When you think of space shooters, you think of penguins operating intergalactic heavy machinery and tripping on jet fuel. Before diving in, I wanted to complete the game. The game was hard and I kept losing, so when I couldn't handle the wave of enemies, I did what any self-respecting player would do. Rage quit, just kidding, I use cheats. Yes, I'm a proud cheater with a 24/7 indestructible shield. With this, I could test out a lot of different functionality in the game without dying. So next up, I changed a few things to enhance the look and feel of the game. First off, the game felt a little bit stagnant, so I started off by moving the stars in the backdrop, giving this game a sense of speed. I also attached a flame to the jet because that's how jets move. Even though I like the concept of having a shooting star effect, I removed it because at times I saw myself dodging it unintentionally. Further, I made a few quality of life improvements like changing the keys so it was easier to play the guitar without having to switch to a different set of keys. I added a Bingo themed pointer to the main menu screen so I was not left guessing where the pointer could be on the screen. After any minigame finished, the game showed a simple Newt graphic. Yeah, hilarious but not very informative. I accidentally discovered that these minigames determined which gun Bingo got. I had no clue this was the purpose of the minigame, so I added the gun Bingo got after the minigame to the graphic. Now players actually have a reason to do better in these hallucinations. Score high, get the gun. Simple and effective than just a penguin going and then game the boss. Oh boy, did it look special. Like, I think I need to go back to the drawing board kind of special. So I dug in, fired up this fancy tool called iFi in Unity, and within minutes I had a new boss sprite. Just fed in some keywords like pixel art, spacecraft, and top-down shooter. And there we go, a shiny new boss that fit the theme. Game devs, you gotta check this one out. After generating this sprite, I then dug into the code, changed firing mechanisms, added explosions, and created a new boss for our penguin pal Bingo. It was a labor of love, I tell you. I wrote a shader to increase the sense of impact because nowadays gamers need a sensory overload to even come close to feeling something. So here we are. The game is far from perfect, but you know what? I kinda like it. It's nice, it's enjoyable, and it has a penguin with a gun. What more could you ask for?
Alright, okay.
Alright, I'm back. I love how the options does nothing. I appreciate the effort. Oh! A story? I feel like I know this voice, but I don't know who this is.
This is me. I made this.
And the story is just so amazing. Absolutely blown away.
I'm ready to game, gamers. Ooh, they added the new enemies. More bullets. More bullets. More bullets. More. One more.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh look, it's like a little penguin thing. Penguin finally out. What are you doing? Oh, this is so awesome.
That's my effect right there.
This is so awesome that this is like literally the same game that we designed. They just kept building. Oh, the sprites are so much cooler. They literally just got the designs I made and just made them way better. Oh, the bosses are. Oh, yeah, okay, we're gonna.
Did they add one?
And now we got Boom again. What have they done to? Oh shit!
Oh,
no.
I'm too fast. I'm too furious.
Oh. Okay. There's a mini game. Oh crap! Right, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole. How do I whack them all?
Yes, they kept it. My work is still in. Oh wait, I can crush stuff? Oh, I didn't even know you could kill stuff. Oh.
I love that they kept all the music and the mini games and stuff. I don't want to die.
Oh, just survive, just survive.
Oh, is it still going? Oh no, okay.
We're good.
Oh, I don't want the shotgun. Oh, okay, that's a high score.
Oh no! I got too aggressive. To everybody, good job.
Alright, let's destroy the boss. Everything. I was so bad. I did it, finally. I had the missing penguin, and you got the newts.
Is it the final boss or does it keep going? I wonder. And why is it not a centipede?
The most wholesome part of this whole experience is that they've actually kept the whole penguin thing and like kept the game idea and just like built upon it in like a really meaningful way. So that's awesome.
Let us know what you think of Newt Destroyer. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, guys, and see you real soon for some incredible game dev collaborations. The best is yet to come. Cheers.